Core notes. Learn more about the core. Defining the core. The core is defined as muscles that stabilize the hips, the system of muscles that make up the torso, front, side, and back, muscles that stabilize the shoulders. All of these things together define the core. The core's importance. The core has two main functions: to spare the spine from excessive load and to transfer force from the upper body to the lower body and vice versa, as in this baseball pitch. Watch carefully. The core's importance. Strong cores allow for optimal movement and mobility, enhance performance of physical activities, and prevent injuries. 5 signs of a weak core: lower back pain, poor posture, bad balance, general weakness, unable to hold a plank. 5 common myths about core training. Only abdominal muscles make up your core. Not true. Core exercises target and burn belly fat. Not true. There was no such thing as spot reduction. Planks give you a six-pack. Not true. Losing general body fat to expose the core muscles in the abdominal area that you have built up will help you get a six-pack, but not just doing planks. A six-pack means you have a strong core. Again, not true. Six-packs look good and it means there is some strength in those particular abdominal muscles, but that does not mean your entire core is strong. Isolation exercises are the best way to build core strength. Again, not true. Typically, doing compound exercises are going to help you build better core strength. Benefits of HIIT workouts notes. Getting fit with HIIT. What is HIIT? HIIT stands for High Intensity Interval Training. 8 benefits of HIIT workouts. Number 1 and number 2. Number 1, HIIT workouts cause the body to go into excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, EPOC. This is when, even after a workout, your body still burns calories to replace its fuel stores and repair muscle proteins. Number 2, this means the body continues to burn fat once the workout is over, even though you're in a resting state during the post-exercise recovery period. So what this means is, the harder you work out, the longer you are in EPOC, and the more calories you continue to burn after a workout. Benefits number 3 and number 4. Number 3, your body burns calories at a rate of 5 calories per liter of oxygen consumed. In general, using exercise to increase the oxygen demands on your body will increase total caloric expenditure both during and after the workout. Short intervals of extremely high-intensity exercise involving a lot of muscle mass require a tremendous amount of oxygen during both the work interval and the recovery periods. Number 4, HIIT produces a significant amount of metabolic waste, including hydrogen ions and lactic acid. The major reason for an active recovery interval, which means the space between the work, is to remove these waste products to allow the involved muscles to perform the next high-intensity bout. As a result, HIIT workouts train your body to tolerate and quickly recover from periods of high-intensity exercise. Benefits 5 and 6. Number 5. HIIT can promote a number of physiological benefits, such as increased mitochondrial density, improved stroke volume, which is how much blood your heart pumps per beat, improved oxidative capacity of muscle and enhanced aerobic efficiency, which was previously thought to occur only as a result of long, slow-distance training protocols. Number 6, HIIT places a significant amount of metabolic stress on muscle tissue. As part of the repair process, the body will produce elevated levels of human growth hormone, testosterone, and insulin-like growth factor 1 to repair damaged muscle proteins, which lead to increase in muscle volume and definition. And finally, benefits number 7 and number 8. Number 7. Many health clubs and workout studios are applying the science to develop group fitness programs that feature HIIT workouts in formats that are 30 minutes or less. So, a side note, if you've heard of CrossFit, that's one of their key principles. High-intensity workouts that are not typically over even 20 minutes. These formats enable you to do more work and receive numerous health benefits in less time. And finally, number 8, exercise intensity can be measured with a scale of perceived exertion, where 1 is low intensity and 10 is the highest intensity you can tolerate. For the greatest benefits, HIIT should be performed at an 8 or higher for periods lasting 30 seconds or less, or to the point of breathlessness. Recovery intervals should be as long or slightly longer than the work interval, or until breathing is quick but under control. Leg muscle anatomy notes. Don't stay away from leg day. Why leg day? Leg workouts burn more calories and build more muscle because you are using your legs, which have more muscle mass in our lower body than our upper body. Leg days help you have a symmetrical body composition. We've all seen the memes about guys and girls who only do upper body workouts. Well, there's also the phrase chicken legs. Nobody wants to look like that, right? Leg day improves form and athleticism. I mean, I can't think of any sport or activity that does not require your legs, so it's probably good to keep them in the best shape possible. Leg day increases metabolism. Again, when you are working with larger muscle groups, then you are going to burn more calories, and your metabolism in general will stay up, even at rest. And finally, leg day really promotes mental discipline. You have to be very focused and use good form so you don't sustain any injuries when doing leg workouts. Key leg muscles. We're going to start with the gluteus maximus, also known as the glutes. And the little phrase I like to help people use to remember where these muscles are located is that the gluteus is your booteus. It's the largest muscle in the body because it must keep the pelvic portion of the body erect. Its function is that it extends the hip joint. For an example, when you squat, the standing segment of this exercise. Some exercises that help build the glutes are squats, bridges, lunges, donkey kicks, and kettlebell swings. The next key leg muscle we will go over is called the quadriceps, also known as the quads. Quad equals 4, and the root word sep means pertaining to the head or headed. Therefore, this is a muscle group consisting of 4 muscles: the rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius. The function of this muscle is to extend the knee joint, and it acts as the antagonistic muscle to the hamstring when it is contracted. An example is when you see the last part of a soccer shot when the player brings his foot forward by extending the knee so that he can shoot the ball. Some exercises that help build the quads are, again, squats, lunges, leg extensions, and the kneeling squat. The next key leg muscle we will go over is the hamstring. This is a muscle group consisting of 3 muscles: the biceps femoris, the semitendinosus, and the semimembranosus. The function of the hamstring is that it flexes the knee joint and acts as the antagonistic muscle to the quads when they are contracted. For example, doing butt kicks for warm-ups. Exercises that help build the hamstring are the squats, lunges, deadlifts, and leg curls. And finally, we'll talk about the lower leg. The lower leg consists of the gastrocnemius, also known as the calf, and the soleus muscles in the back, and the tibialis anterior in the front. There are some other smaller muscles in the front as well that flex the toes. The function of the calf and soleus is plantar flexion, and the tibialis anterior's function is dorsiflexion. Exercises that help build the calves are heel raises, jumping exercises on your toes, and calf extensions. Benefits of flexibility notes. Stretching every day keeps the tightness away. Flexibility is a key component of the 5 health-related fitness components, which you probably remember learning about in health class. So let's review those 5 things. There is body composition, cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance, muscular strength, and finally, the star of this particular show, flexibility. And that is the ability to move a joint through its full range of motion. Without flexibility, some immobility issues would arise. These can be development of muscular imbalances, pain when trying to move, swollen joints, limited mobility, and increased likelihood of injury. Importance of flexibility. Daily flexibility helps with improving posture and balance, increasing strength, reducing pain, naturally boosting your mood, and enhancing athletic performance. Classifying flexibility. There are 2 main types of flexibility. There is dynamic flexibility, which means that you are actively moving joints and muscles with sport-specific motions for around 10 to 12 repetitions, targeting certain muscle groups. For example, when we do windmills for warm-up. The other type is static, moving a joint as far as it can go and holding it for a length of time. So as you see in this stretch here, the man is just holding the stretch for however long and not moving the joints actively. Top stretches. These are recommended by an orthopedist. Downward dog, side oblique stretch, child's pose, forward fold. These can be done standing or seated with your feet together or your feet apart. So there are quite a few variations of the forward fold. And finally, the seated back twist. Gee, I wonder if any of these look familiar. Benefits of cardio workouts notes. Get healthy quicker, take care of your ticker. A key component. We've been discussing the 5 health-related fitness components. Let's review them one more time. Body composition, flexibility, muscular endurance, muscular strength, and the focal point for today, which is cardiovascular endurance. This is the ability of the heart, lungs, and blood vessels to deliver oxygen to working muscles and tissues. Without cardio, health issues arise. Things like weakened heart, poor oxygenation of tissues, fatigue, weight gain, and other health-related components adversely affected due to further inactivity caused by all of the above. This could lead to a chain reaction of health problems if you are not taking care of your heart. Benefits of cardio. Cardio helps with the heart's efficiency, better sleep, reducing the risk of various cardiovascular diseases, naturally boosting your mood, burning body fat, and increasing lung capacity. Cardiac efficiency. Key terms. So I've talked already in the previous slide about cardiac efficiency, your heart really working better, doing less work to produce more. So let's talk about what goes into that. First, there is stroke volume, abbreviated as SV. This is how much blood the heart pumps per beat. So in the animation, every time you see the heart squeeze and push out the blood, that is the stroke volume. Heart rate is the number of times the heart beats per minute. You've heard that term before. And both of these multiplied makes cardiac output, abbreviated SCO, and this is the total amount of blood pumped throughout the body per minute. So heart rate times the stroke volume equals the cardiac output. Getting your cardio in. Here are just a few ideas. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list, but just some things that most folks might have access to on a more daily basis. Walking or jogging, jumping rope, biking or skateboarding. If you have access, treadmills, ellipticals, swimming, etc. So things you might find at a gym. And obviously not listed here are some of you play sports, and that's great. Sports can certainly contribute. We are aiming to get 150 minutes per week. That is the average recommendation for adults, and you are basically considered an adult for this calculation. So even if it's a little bit per day, try to get it to equal 150 minutes per week. Muscular endurance notes. Time and light resistance help muscles go the distance. A key component. Let's review the 5 health-related fitness components one more time. Body composition, cardiovascular endurance, flexibility, muscular strength, and the focus for today, muscular endurance, which is defined as the ability of a muscle or group of muscles to sustain repeated contractions against a resistance for an extended period of time. Muscle fiber types. There are 2 main types, sort of. Slow twitch is type 1. This is more efficient at using oxygen to produce ATP, which is essentially what fuels our muscles, and it can go longer before fatiguing. Fast twitch is type 2A. This is an intermediate fiber. It can use both aerobic with oxygen and anaerobic without oxygen systems equally. So it's kind of in the middle. And then fast twitch also has a type 2B. So as you can see, there's sort of 3 types, but they're in 2 categories. So type 2B is the classic fast twitch fibers that excel at producing quick, powerful bursts of speed. So one way to help you remember this, if you see the diagram at the top, you'll notice that the slow twitch fibers look more red and the fast twitch fibers look a lot lighter. So think of it this way. Cows are slow and they're red meat, right? When you go to the store, you see steaks, hamburger meat, it's red. And chickens are really fast and are technically the white meat of the world. So you can think of these 2 animals to help you remember that slow twitch fibers use more oxygen, that is why they are more red, and fast twitch fibers don't rely so heavily on it, so that is why they are predominantly white. How to train. Depends on type. Fast twitch fibers need higher weight and lower reps for strength-based training, and sprints, short distance swimming or cycling, and jumps for speed and power moves. Slow twitch training involves lower weight and higher reps for strength-based training and long distance running, cycling, swimming for endurance training. Benefits of muscular endurance. Muscular endurance keeps your heart healthy, aids in weight loss, improves mood and sleep quality, prevents age-related decline, and leads to a longer life. This training reduces risk of death by 23%. It's in the genes. Nature or nurture? Actin 3 is a protein that binds to actin, which is a fiber in our muscles, and fast twitch muscle fibers and helps give it stability during a muscle contraction. Some people's DNA does not code for as much actin 3 to be produced, so their fast twitch fibers act more like slow twitch fibers. While genetics play a role in how we may naturally develop, we can still train to improve speed, strength, endurance, and other physical skills. Muscular strength notes. Strength is a gift, so be sure to lift. A key component. Once again, let's review the 5 health-related fitness components. Body composition, cardiovascular endurance, flexibility, muscular endurance, and today's hot topic, muscular strength, which is the amount of force a muscle can produce in a single maximal effort. How do muscles get stronger? In a nutshell, overload via resistance training. We have to make our muscles work harder than they're used to. Muscle fiber damage from this resistance training. This is a catabolic process, and those processes are ones that break things down in our body. Then we need muscle fiber repair and growth to follow the breakdown. This is an anabolic process. Anabolic processes are the building processes within our body. We'll talk more about these later on this year. Strength training. Progressive resistance training. Again, we talked about overloading muscles with more tension than they are used to. This can be done via free weights or resistance bands, but we have to make sure the muscles are working harder than they are used to. Gradually and continually increase the load on the muscles so they constantly have to produce more force and adapt. If you're never making your muscles work hard, they're not going to get stronger. Also, you have to gradually and continually increase the reps and decrease the rest times in these types of workouts. So the muscles are going to adapt. Even when you overload them, after a while we do get stronger, and then that amount of weight and those amount of reps are too easy on our muscles, and we have to push it a little bit further. So this concept is essentially saying keep adding more weight or resistance so that you can continually get stronger. Benefits of strength training. Strength training improves functional strength and flexibility, increases bone mass and density, prevents age-related muscle loss. Adults lose 5 to 7 pounds of muscle per decade after the age of 20. Strength training also reduces body fat, blood pressure, and back pain. So again, lots of benefits when we're making our muscles stronger and getting plenty of exercises. Other factors. You've hit the weights, but you've also got to have the proper diet. It should be high in protein, have lots of complex carbohydrates, so things like grains, all kinds of vegetables especially tend to have more complex carbohydrates. We want to try to avoid lots of over-processed foods. And it should also contain the good fats and oils. So tree nuts, avocado oil, olive oil, things like that. Rest, rest, rest. I know people your age are not always the best at getting the proper rest, but at your age, this is when it's most critical. Your body is growing and it needs to be in a resting state for those processes to take place. Hydration. Proper water intake is key to keeping bodily functions running smoothly. Listen, our body wants to be in homeostasis, and dehydration is a key way to get off of that balance and start sending your body into all kinds of overdrive and losing efficiency because it doesn't have enough water. We need water for our body to do pretty much every process it does. So make sure you hydrate properly with actual water. It's okay to enjoy yummy beverages sometimes, but get that proper water intake. Body composition notes. Today's mission, body composition. A key component. Let's review again the 5 health-related fitness components. Cardiovascular endurance, flexibility, muscular endurance, muscular strength, and today's star, body composition. This is the makeup of the body, including fat, bones, and muscles. Also, it's the ratio of lean body mass to fat mass. Getting the facts straight. Know your terms. Mass is how much matter an object contains. So it's the actual physical stuff that makes up something. This is often measured in something like kilograms, abbreviated as kg, sometimes in grams. You've probably seen that in science class. Weight is the force exerted on a mass by gravity. In the physics world, this is measured in newtons, seen as a capital N, or in our everyday lives here in America as pounds, abbreviated lb. The Earth has a gravitational pull of 9.81 meters per second squared on our bodies. This is what makes us weigh whatever it is that we weigh. Mass is constant, but weight is relative. For example, a person who weighs 110 pounds on Earth only weighs 18 pounds on the moon. Core elements. The human body consists of 4 core elements, which make up 95+% of the human body: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. Water. This is about 62% of our total mass. Muscles, about 16% of our total mass. Bones, about 6% of our total mass. Organs, which fall into the water and muscles categories. And fat, about 16% of total mass. Granted, these numbers are averages across human beings. Don't get all upset if your body fat's lower than 16% or you know you have more than 16% muscle mass. That's just the general human average. Fat, not all bad. Fats fall into 2 categories: essential and non-essential. On the essential side, it's needed for proper bodily functioning. For example, the myelin sheath on our nerves. Without that layer of fat covering the nerves, the signals do not travel as fast as they need to. It's also found in bone marrow, the brain, organs, muscles, etc. Women have more essential fat due to breast tissue and areas around the uterus. On the non-essential side, it's known more as storage fat, can be an insulator on our bodies to retain body heat, a backup energy source, and padding to some degree against bodily trauma. So while it seems like those things don't feel non-essential, they're not quite as important in the everyday functioning of our bodies. They do come into play sometimes, but not on a daily basis like the ones in the essential category do. Other factors. What affects body composition kind of fall into 2 categories, the first being controllable. So things we can control like diet, exercise, and lifestyle habits. We do have quite a bit of control over that. I know you don't fully have control of like what your mom might buy at the grocery store or make you for dinner, but you do have some level of agency over what you are going to choose to eat at any given time. There are some non-controllable things. We definitely can't control our genetics. We get what we get, right? Biological sex. Because again, as we mentioned previously, women have more essential body fat than men, so the body compositions of people with certain biological sexes can be different. We also cannot control environmental factors. Not fully. I mean, we can't control where we're born. We can't control where we live sometimes. And so we have to be able to navigate whatever environment we live in to have access to proper diet, proper exercise, medical care, etc.